Here is new video of Jamichael Jones in handcuffs at the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office.
And it was a domestic situation.
He's behind bars right here at the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office.
This morning, he was denied bond on those charges. It's all spelled out in this criminal arrest warrant here.
Would you like your warrants read? No.
If you ain't already heard the wildest news out there, then listen up. Atlanta rapper, best known by his stage name Trouble, got shot and suffered the most fatal outcome, death. And the guy who did it, he was a complete stranger to Trouble. Someone who caught feelings for the wrong chick and decided to make his life hell. Yup, it's a case of a simp who decided to shoot his gun before using his brain. That's right, he took another man's life over a girl. Right about now, you're probably asking yourself, what the f is going on? And that's kind of expected. We're right there with you. So let's talk about the incident first, and then we'll cover the parts that took place afterward, and what really went down, and what does the simp has to say about all of it. It was Saturday evening, early Sunday morning when it all started, and it was pretty much Trouble who wanted to have some late night fun with his female friend. Now, when we say friend, we don't mean to say that he and the girl were dating and have a relationship. Most likely it was just a one-night stand or a casual hookup, probably nothing intimate or even close to a relationship. Trouble was actually pretty famous, and not only around Atlanta, too. He was collaborating with rappers such as Future, Waka Flocka, Drake, and Yo Gotti. He featured on a Lupe Fiasco album, and lastly, he was signed to Mike Will Made, its record label, Eardrummers. But let's go back to the night of the incident. Before coming to the girl's apartment, he was out with his homies having a couple of drinks and enjoying himself. A couple of IG stories show him taking shots at a bar, smoking, dancing, and throwing up gang signs with his buddy in the car. A little after that, he heads to the one girl's apartment, a place at Lake St. James Apartments in Conyers. He was probably looking to spend the rest of the night there and go back home in the morning. This was all sweet and nice until one Jamichael Jones decided to hop in the story. Now, a lot of y'all ain't know it, but Jamichael Jones was also a rapper back in the day. He didn't get much clout and he dropped the ball quick, but he went by the name J. Mike. How was J. Mike involved in all this? He was the girl's ex. Or at least that's the story told by most of the media. A lot of times these types of relationships drag on out and get hella messy, but it don't matter much now if J. Mike and his girl were still dating or if they were past it. The girl decided to mingle around with another dude, and that ended up costing Trouble his life. So at some time during Sunday morning, probably around 3:20 a.m., J. Mike pulls up to the apartment where Trouble and the female were located. Now, according to the warrant, J. Mike his ex before his altercation with Trouble. In fact, the officers claimed this wasn't the first time he did this to his ex. Clearly, it was a situation of DV and one heck of a toxic relationship. But after he hit his ex, he decided it was time to deal with Trouble, who stole his chick. What did he do? J. Mike took out his Glock and fired Trouble in the chest. After that, he disappeared from the spot and left his ex with Trouble alone. Someone called in soon after that. Unfortunately for Trouble, the wound was fatal, and he died before the paramedics showed up at the scene to help out. RIP to Trouble and condolences to his fam. We hope they find peace soon. The whole incident, the altercation, it all happened in a matter of minutes. Some were shocked by how little it takes and just how quickly one's life can change. 7 minutes is all it took to change everybody's life in the situation. Tragic. And what are we left with? Nothing but grief and sadness. Just take a look at this comment. This whole thing is sad and maddening at the same time. Shake my head. Little time passed before things developed further. As we mentioned earlier, J. Mike fled his ex's apartment after the altercation. After that, he was an obvious suspect, and the police were looking for him. They didn't have to do much work though. Why? The guy decided to turn himself in. He surrendered himself after what was probably a guilt trip from the side. Matter of fact, his mom talked to the county sheriff and managed to negotiate a meeting place for the arrest. After meeting with the cops at the designated location, J. Mike was taken into custody. Some folks found his mom being involved in the negotiation quite funny. One comment reads, "Mama said go." All jokes aside, J. Mike's charges were dead serious. He was charged with murder, aggravated assault, battery, and home invasion. And in all likelihood, he's looking at life behind bars. Guess he should have thought twice before trying to save his ex. As of now, J. Mike's being held in the Rockdale County PD and will be there probably until his trial. Just a few days after his arrest, he had a bond hearing. And what do you know, his bond was denied by the judge who took his case. No surprise there. He'll appear in front of a court soon enough again, but the situation is looking damn grim for him and nobody believes he'll find mercy in any shape or form. He did it wrong, and everybody knows it. But what in the world was J. Mike thinking? He obviously didn't listen to Project Pat when he said, "Don't save her, she don't want to be saved." For those of you who don't know this old track, it pretty much sums up the whole story of J. Mike and his ex. The song is about a dude catching feelings for a girl who likes to sleep around with others. Poor dude has plans of marrying her and killing the dude who slept with his girl, but the girl was never serious about him at all. You gotta be careful with your chicks, man. J. Mike was obviously still into his ex, and the fact that she was goofing around with Trouble, it got to him. Jealousy is one heck of a trip, especially if you can't hold your emotions. Because of it, J. Mike decided to do the most messed up thing you can imagine, and that's taking another person's life. Perhaps it wasn't only emotions towards his ex, but towards Trouble too. Maybe when he entered the apartment of his ex and realized that the dude in the apartment with her was an established rapper, he felt some sort of jealousy. Trouble is kind of a big deal in ATL, and he has a lot of clout. Being a failed rapper and having his career ended sooner than he expected, J. Mike must have been feeling some envy towards Trouble too, not only his girlfriend. This was probably too much to handle for him, and he did what he did. He let it bang. There was another kind of spooky element to this whole story. Just 1 month before he passed, Trouble tweeted about how life was short. "Life's short, dog. Shake my head. Never know when your number gonna be called. Move with grace. Be grateful. Forgive. Don't forget. Love your people and make sure they know. Respect your people. Respect life. It can be all over any day. On, Lord." It's crazy how coincidences like this can take place, but that's the life we live. Trouble, having a lot of influence in the community, left plenty of folks with the remorse and tears in their eyes. There are plenty of folks saying rip to Trouble. T.I. was probably the first one who heard the news. He tweeted, "RIP Trouble." Right after that, Meek Millie let his voice be heard. He also went on Twitter and posted, "And I woke up to rip Trouble." Everybody texting, "Be careful. Shake my head. Rest in peace, fam." Trouble's ex-girlfriend also had something to say about Trouble passing. She said, "Rest in peace, Trouble. I'm so sorry this happened to you, Scoob. You didn't deserve this. I'm praying for your kids and family." People sure have plenty to say when shit like this hits the fan, especially if it's about relationships. You'll have folks jumping in with comments left, right, and center. What we can safely say is this: J. Mike single-handedly ruined 3 lives. He ruined his own life because he ain't ever gonna come out of the joint. He's gonna be stuck there for the rest of his life thinking about what he did and how he sold his life over some chick who ain't even had the hots for him. He ruined Trouble's life, a person who's left such a positive impact on the Atlanta folks and hip-hop community in general. He was often praised to be a role model and somehow to look up to when it comes to success in making music. According to a number of people, his music touched souls easily, and a couple of his albums were considered extremely overrated. This comment tells it all. What You Doing is one of the most underrated tracks out there, and he carried in hits like Thief in the Night and Keys to the Streets. This one's gonna be shrugged off by a lot of people compared to other murders. Doesn't change his impact in Atlanta and the United States. RIP Scoop. And in the end, he ruined his ex's life, who will be recovering from this incident for quite some time. She'll probably come to her senses in the time to come, but this ain't something she ever gonna forget. You can count on that. You can't say Trouble's been so innocent with girls. There are previous accusations against him. Trouble was accused of hurting a woman after the two of them left a New Year's Eve party back together in 2020. Not only that, but he did some short time for a drug charge in 2017. He had his fair share of misdemeanors, but then again, who hasn't? There was nothing remotely close that he did that could possibly justify J. Mike's irrational decision to take his life. But what's y'all's take on this? Is J. Mike ever gonna leave prison, or is he doomed for the rest of his life? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, remember to keep it RIZZLE, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check this next one out.